face lit this town like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it out tonight. We're gonna let it out tonight. We're gonna let it out just like the sunrise. We're gonna let it out now. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it out tonight. We're gonna let it out tonight. We're gonna let it out just like the sunrise. We're gonna let it out now.
Hey guys, how are we doing tonight? Welcome in. I went ahead and I came on without the dogs coming in, so they'll probably be at the door in a moment. Just want to put that out there as a, just to let you guys know ahead of time because they usually do come to the door. Where's, I don't know. All of my little tabs have like disappeared today. So I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm not in like the right space since I don't have 15 tabs down here and 15 up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys up here so that way I can see it. And I didn't mean to add that goal only for 30 minutes. So we could do another one in 30 minutes if we want to. It doesn't matter. But I just realized I had a goal for 30. I was like, I just put that for 30 minutes. I was like, man, look at me over here wishing high, huh? Wishing one hand and ish in the other. That's what my dad would tell me. But let's get it, Monch Cheese said. $1.99. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all being here tonight. I do appreciate that as well. We have some new documents that are out. We have nothing from the judge. I wish. But we do have, it looks like 1 or 2 more people are subpoenaed from Pennsylvania to come over to Idaho and testify either for or against Brian Kohberger. I haven't had a chance to read over them yet, but they're probably just like the other ones that we've read over. So we'll look at those. And then they did have an order sealing something. I think it was something with the witness list and the Idaho on the Idaho side. So we'll look at that as well. And then I thought, why not start this book? I have the, I found it online for you guys. So I have like the book to read like we did. You remember last time, like I think I just read it, or I don't know if I just read it to you guys, like the book that we read the last time, the Howard Bloom book, or if I had pictures up for you guys, but I know I didn't have the text up because I couldn't get the text. But this book, I could get the text, so I got it. So that way you guys can read along, or if you don't want to hear me read it, you can pause me and you can read. You can read it. That's how we do it around here. So, well, Devaney, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. And welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you. I won't go through the whole list tonight, but I am going up to the top just to kind of see who we got here. But I see we got the mods in the mods are in here tonight. We got Ladybug and Baby Girl. Maybe Mary Beth will grace us with her presence. She's just been so busy lately. She's been too busy for us. Don't lose your voice yet. Hey, True Crime Lullabies. Welcome in. Hey, Tom. I'm just going to kind of fly through everyone. But hey, Lenora, welcome in. If I missed you, it doesn't mean I didn't see it. It just means I didn't get to say your name. Hey, Ash. Hey, Kathy. Welcome in, everybody. Oh, now I'm pressing buttons. Okay. I got that. Okay, we got everything going. I was like, got my thing pinned and everything. Reading Rainbow. Doodlebug, you got that right. We should just take turns. That'd been fun. That would have been fun. I love that name, Common Sense. Common Sense is entered. Blooms 2 and pre-ordered the one coming out in a couple weeks. Pickles on it. I reread it on the channel and it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad read. I mean, it wasn't bad. I don't remember like hating it or anything. I think there's parts of it we kind of laughed about, and I think we're going to do the same with this book. But what reminded me of this book was last night when we were going through like what Dylan's kind of been up to. He was the reporter or the journalist that got Dylan Mortensen's father to sit down and actually have like a one-on-one conversation with him. So out of like all the reporters in the world, he got it. So I'm gonna let my dogs in really quick and then we're gonna get started on the documents. Hold on one second. Go get in your chair, Mia. Oh, come on over here and get in your chair. Come on, Mia. Come on. Come on, Mia. Come on. Come on, Mia. Go over here. There you go. Come on. There you go. There you go. Okay. Sorry about that. Kind of had I didn't move her that direction. Now she wants to lay on the blanket. Don't bother her. You have to. I wish I had a camera back here. I don't know if you guys can see. You guys can't see the craziness that's my life. Okay, they're sitting down. So, sisters. I swear I never had a sister, but I think this is how it goes. Like one wants to sit somewhere and the other one wants to sit there. So like the other one growls at the other one. And it's a thing. It's kind of funny until it's not. They haven't bit each other or anything. They won't do that, but they definitely will. They definitely will growl at each other. So, well, the one dog will. So there was 2 on here for the Idaho case of interest page. And if you guys ever want to come on this page, I'll put the actual. Let me put the link in the description in the chat for you guys, because you never know. I don't know why it did so far or so long, but that's the state of interest case. So it has all of the documents on here that's ever come out on Brian Koberger or for the state or for the defense. Anything you need is right here in this little area for this side anyway. If you want Pennsylvania's, I'll put that in the chat in just a moment. So there's a notice of compliance and motion to seal state's amended witness list. And we'll just kind of see what it says. So it just says what it says. There's no name or anything. So it says the state moves the court pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32G1. And then the Idaho Code gives the code for order sealing the state's amended witness list pursuant to the court's order or October 8th, 2024. Order the guilt phase witness list was to be filed under seal. Like it wasn't. It says like was to be filed under seal, like it wasn't filed under seal. I know that the defense put that one out, and I don't think that was supposed to be out. But it just says here, based on the state's notice of compliance and motion to seal state's amended witness list, the court does hereby confirm and order them to, um, close it, seal it. So they're sealing things, of course, because, Brian Koberger's, a lot of the evidence that they were going to use at trial, supposedly, was leaked by Dateline. And so now they're sealing everything. When Judge Hippler first came on the scene, he was like, we're not going to seal anything anymore. We're just going to redact names. And that's what they were doing when they did, they gave us the text messages between Dylan and Bethany, and then they gave us the 911 call. And then after that Dateline episode kind of came out, and that's when he decided to seal everything back up, which, I guess I can understand that. If that's what they want to do, that's what they're going to do. But we'll see it all, hopefully, whenever we go to court trial. Now, I did hear, I don't know so Court TV came out with a 2-minute trailer or something about the Idaho case and how they're going to be there. Now, I don't know if their correspondents are going to be there outside or inside, you know what I mean? Like that, or if they're going to be actually broadcasting it. That someone asked me that the other day and I was like, I don't know. So I looked into it and I still don't know. I think that they're just going to be covering it. So the next one that I wanted to show you was it's the Commonwealth versus Koberger. And these are the postings all for, these are all that's over there from December 30th, 2022 till today. So today's the summons and decorum order. It just came out. Let me copy and paste this into the chat. These are so long, the links are, but I promise they're safe. I hope. No, I'm just kidding. They're safe. They're all from the state. So this is what it was. Is just order scheduling a hearing on petition for summons for William E. Searfoss. Wonder who that is. I didn't look him up. I bet you if William, if he's not on here, I might be able to find him. I need to get a LinkedIn that doesn't have my name onto it. That's not my own personal LinkedIn. I'm trying to look for the last name. Okay. Okay, well, this one is, that's obituaries, everyone that I've seen, so. Well, I don't think that's the person that they're looking for. This person's pretty old, 83, so yeah. Because I was thinking maybe LinkedIn or something, but yeah. So I would assume that it might be not. It's someone a little bit younger. But I don't remember that name. Does anyone remember that name hearing it? I know Ash Higgins. Why did they send him over there? He should not be. He should just be over here with his dogs. So whoever it says directing witness William E. Searfoss is, he says to attend and testify in out-of-state criminal proceedings filed in the above caption matter. It is hereby ordered. A hearing on the petition shall be held June 30th, which everyone is going June 30th. It's going to be a little reunion if they all know each other somehow. I mean, they're all going to be showing up there. And we should be there. But man, why does it have to be so far away? So then the petitioner shall promptly serve a copy of this order to William. William Searfoss shall appear at the hearing to show cause why he should not be compelled to attend and testify in out-of-state criminal proceedings. Now, I wonder if what your excuse has to be. We should look into that. How big, right, of a reasoning would you have to give for why you can't travel to Idaho? Maybe I'm 9 months pregnant. That could be maybe a thing. I mean, what if that's, I would think that would, get you out of it. I'm trying to think of another one. I can't really think of any, like, your mom or dad, maybe is on hospice, like, somebody that's, like, and you're their caregiver, like, you're part of their care team. But for the most part, I think that all these people are gonna have to go. I don't think they're gonna get out of it. I I think they're all just gonna have to go. So, okay, so that's all we really have. I don't know why it says for it must just be like, why did they type that in or write that in there? I don't know. And then it says, now this 23rd day of June. Oh, there's another one. Anthony Soma. That name kind of sounds bad. I don't think we know who that is either. What was the last name? Was it SUM? SOMMA. Okay, I don't know. What was the middle initial? Was there I don't know if there was one. No. I'll have to look into these. There's like 10 plus people on profiles on LinkedIn, but I can't get on LinkedIn because it has my like stuff in there. But some of these are like definitely not him. I should look on Instagram if I wanted to be really nosy. And I do. Who is this person? Why does this person look familiar? Like this person looks like they live in Pennsylvania. It doesn't say where they're from. Okay. We'll have to look into them. I mean, because we're nosy. I'm nosy as heck, and I like to know where people are, where they are, who they are, what they do, what they're going to be doing for this case. I actually saw. Speaking of, I saw a video from Vicar Barlow. It was on. Did I not say that? I must not have. It was on YouTube. It was from I think a year ago, and she's talking about like IgG and stuff. And it was just kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of different seeing her not in a courtroom setting, talking about stuff like that. Get in your seat there, ears. That's her flipping her ears around. So. My other dog's looking at me like, get her away from me. Okay, and I think it's just the courtroom decorum, which we've went through these before. I think it's all the same. Just be like, just be a decent human. I don't know. That's what it should be mandatory. But it's just all reporters, members of the public must be seated before the proceedings begin. Like, if you get up and go to the bathroom, you may not be allowed to come back in. One of those type of deals. Don't wear a tank top into the courtroom. It's just not court appropriate. Don't be no texting, no videoing, no taking pictures, none of that stuff. No person shall be permitted to bring a backpack or a large purse. Don't bring in your suitcase, from the airport. Don't bring food or beverages into the courtroom. Leave the Mountain Dew in the car. I would be bringing my cup and watch me. And then it says you can't be, be like beyond the bar of the courtroom, which I mean, I don't even know why they let people up that high, like that far. Then the penalties for that. You got to have those credentials out, which, must include a photo. And these are not ones that you print off at home. You have to have the real media credentials. And then Limited parking is available near the courthouse. Oh, that's fun. Where was the one where it tells you like to like it said something I remember like there was one and it was like if you know you have to be at the courthouse at this time, make sure you have enough room for park or enough time for parking. I'm like, shouldn't people do that? Like you shouldn't have to be told. Let me see if I can find it. Like look, right here it is. Limited parking is available near the courthouse. Reporters and members of the public who will be attending a court hearing should allow ample time to find parking and make their way to the courthouse. Well, like, yeah, and if they don't, they can't come in. I don't know. Sure, MAGA mama, that's what you got in that cup. Mhm. That's what my mom used to say too. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding with you. I'm just kidding. But my mom didn't have she had beer in there. We ain't lying. We're not lying here on this channel no mo. she she's not around to beat me for it, you know. So I'm just kidding. She never beat me, but she did. She used to put beer in there. My mom was like no other mother in the world. Let me tell you, she was something else. She was something else. I'm going and I'm wearing my cutoff shorts and a tank top with no bra, Dollar Tree flip flops, and a backwards baseball cap. I'm chewing gum and talking on my phone. Oh my gosh, I'd be done. I'd be done with you, Doodlebug. You better stop that. You better stop that. Yeah. The courthouse or Walmart, whichever. Okay, let me put my glasses on. And I do need to get me some goggles because I went to the pool again today, and when I came up, my eyes were like on fire again. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm not even going underwater. I can't. I can't go under the water because my hair. So I don't know what it is. Oh, I don't have to read from this book either, really. If I don't want to, we can read from the. So I can actually read it from here. And if you guys don't mind, I forgot to ask, take a second, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. What are you waiting on if you haven't already? Um, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you subscribe if you guys would like to subscribe. And then I will put up the. So it's weird because like I never use my my full screen or whatever it is. So what I have to do, I have to stop sharing the screen, and then I have to share it this way. Okay. And then it'll be big for you guys too, I think. Let me go back to the beginning. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Look at that. I could make it smaller, I think. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what this button does. Oh. So I can. I don't want to resize it because I don't really know what these things mean, like how to resize it. So I'm just kind of scared to touch it. So, hey, wait, get back. Where'd you go? Oh, I just opened the wrong one. Sorry. Okay. Before we get started. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to mute myself. I'm gonna blow my nose really quick. Okay. Let me just get my glasses back on. I'm ready to go. And I'm not the best reader in the world, but you know, I'm here. I'm here for it. And whenever we get to the part where there's like pictures and stuff, you know, then I'll let you know what they look like. Okay. Hey, Cyborg Mama. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Okay. So I don't know why this says page 12, but it's not. I don't know. I guess those are just the. I'm just going to see what they are. There's nothing. It's just the table of contents. And this came out in 2023. And like I said, there's a little gnat in here. It's going to bother me. This came out by J. Reuben Appelman, and he is from Idaho. So he is the only one that Dylan Mortenson's father has spoken with about this case at all. He said that he went up there and there was a bunch of reporters, and none of them wanted to talk to him, but he got the interview. So let's get started. Maybe the dogs will go to sleep too. Moscow, Idaho is a nook in the northern forest, a college town for most of the year, and a working class whistle stop for the rest of it. When the University of Idaho is in session, there are 25,000 people in Moscow, but in the off season, that number is less than half. If I can make this bigger for me. Oh, I think I did. Hold on. Okay, I did. Maybe, is it making it bigger for you guys though too? Oh, I don't like it like that. Okay, never mind. Go back to the way it was. You usually don't end up in this remote hamlet crouched beneath the Palos Mountains unless you're trying to end up here. It's just not somewhere you land by accident, and that's the beauty of it. In summer, you could smell the pine burning off the nearby forest from sunlight, its sharp perfume drifting into the valley. In winter, the downtown is strung with Christmas lights, and there are footsteps in the snow from store to store. When the weather is bad enough, and it often is, an occasional set of cross-country ski tracks can be seen running down the center of Main Street on nights when automobiles don't dare risk the journey. Some of the street lamps are still ornate, like in old-fashioned holiday movies. There is hardly any crime in this little village. There are drug-related crimes like everywhere else, but not terribly newsworthy ones. Crimes of petty theft, shoplifting, and of course, domestic assaults, which are violent but statistically stem from addiction and poverty. America's crimes of the broken heart and soul. In mid-November 2022, just weeks before Moscow would be hunkered down for one of its notorious North Idaho winters, the 37-member Moscow Police Department had its first murder case in 7 years, a quadruple homicide. 4 University of Idaho students had been stabbed to death overnight in an off-campus house squatting against a hillside cluster of equally collegiate multi-night units. According to the Moscow police, it was around 4 a.m. when a then unknown subject, or unsub in police terminology, entered this co-ed residence under the cloak of darkness, just yards from the college campus, and then with a hunting-style fixed-blade knife made a short work of his victims, stabbing them to death. The savagery was breathtaking, the motivation unimaginable. The coroner had initially stated that all 4 victims at 1122 King Road were likely to have been asleep. Some had defensive wounds. If asleep, they would have awakened and struggled as they were being attacked, and each was stabbed multiple times in various areas of their bodies, including fatally in the upper torso. There was a lot of blood, the Latah County coroner, Kathy Mabbitt, had told the regional CBS news station. It was a very sad scene. She was downplaying the horror in those bedrooms and would later privately discuss the crimes in far more graphic detail with family members of the victims. The killer had torn the victim's flesh with a massive knife, she said, the way a deer hunter might tear into his prey when dressing it out. After later investigators would reveal that the victims likely hadn't been asleep after all. And that kind of makes sense. I mean, this is from 2023. If he's saying dressing a deer, that could be like the wounds on Ethan. Thanks, Machachi. I have to set another one whenever I'm done. That was kind of a short one, wasn't it? Okay, so we're not okay. One of the victims had also reportedly suffered what's known as overkill. Actually, I'm gonna so you guys can see it better. Oh, Okay, so one of the victims had also reportedly suffered what is known as overkill, when a murderer doesn't stop at death but just keeps stabbing. There were 5 housemates and 1 visiting boyfriend in the residence that night. 2 of the 6 were unharmed. The rest were attacked so viciously that blood leaked out of the house and seeped through the floorboards, dripping along the concrete foundation beneath one of the bedrooms. Murdered that night were Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, both 21, their housemate Xana Kernodle, 20, and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin, also 20. All 4 had ties to Greek life, the fraternity and sorority social class system, and all 4 would soon become international obsessions. It was the brutality of the murders that drew public attention, and then, with no arrest made in the initial weeks, citizen sleuths took the investigation into their hands. They stalked the victims' social media profiles, looking for clues, and started YouTube channels and TikTok profiles dedicated solely to the case. Oh, thank you guys. That's so sweet. Thank you, baby girl. Thank you. Thanks, Montachi. Thanks, Brandywine. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Cal, welcome in. We're reading. Thank you guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. And they did start YouTube channels and TikTok profiles, solely for this case. Not me. I was already on here. But I did start covering this case as soon as it happened. And because many had monetized their channels, a frenzy of knockoff channels soon began, with millions of international followers possessing no investigative expertise, now speculating on the crimes. The victims were out of central casting: Kaylee and Maddie, movie star blondes, Ethan a young John F. Kennedy Jr. or Robert Pattinson lookalike, tall and sturdy-jawed, and always alongside his girlfriend Xana, who fit perfectly under his arm in photos, her smile seeming to buoy him. They all looked good on camera, and the mainstream media took notice. The town of Moscow seemed to have lost its innocence overnight, and many of this is normally in this normally trusting community, there were doors were often left unlocked, almost immediately ordered security cameras for the exterior of their homes. Well, you guys are so sweet. Look at you guys. Thank you, Majichi. Thanks, man. Mega Mama. You're welcome. You guys are so welcome. Thank you guys. Hey, Felicia. Felicia. I don't know if you heard me say your name. I was like, kind of like my voice went out there for a minute. Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. The town of Moscow seemed to have lost its innocence overnight, and many in this normally trusting community, where doors were often left unlocked, almost immediately ordered security cameras for the exterior of their homes. Some students even began carrying concealed handguns on their walks through campus. In this deeply red state, no permits were required. Fox and News Nation were the first to descend upon Moscow to cover the official investigation, and soon every major network in America would arrive. The paparazzi also showed up in drones, taking photographs of the murder house, as it became known, at 1122 King Road. One of the victim's father, Steve Gonzalez, spoke to a Fox reporter in front of the Moscow police station on a bitter cold night when the investigation was just days old, exhaling in frustration when he revealed that he'd been asked by the investigators not to disclose what the coroner had told him, how his daughter had been brutalized. That was 3 weeks after. I remember that interview. Requests for silence are standard early in homicide cases, but Gonzalez, in a cat-branded sweatshirt and ball cap, his eyes ice cold in the middle, but beet red at the rims from crying, wasn't having it. I paid for that funeral, he said, and nobody was going to tell him what he could or could not speak to the press about, not while the cops were still looking seemingly unsuccessfully for his daughter's killer. You ain't taking that from me. His daughter had come back to him in a box, he added bluntly, then stumbled over his words, the loss compounded by the pressure of not knowing who done this to his little girl or why was buckling him. Gonzalez's wife, Christy, nudged him on camera. Calm down, she said quietly. And after she said that, actually, I was telling Vincent this the other night because that reporter was on TV. He's still a Fox. Black guy, dressed really nice, bright smile. I know if I showed a picture of him, everyone would know. I don't remember his name though. But I remember him so much because when all that happened, whenever she said, calm down to him, he put his arm on Christy's shoulder. Like, it's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, what's his name? Oh, he's so handsome. I don't know if you guys would know who he is in the chat. But he was he's so handsome. He's still on, I think he's still on Fox. I have to look him up. I forget what like show he's on though. This was just him doing like independent, like, story. So every hotel in this little town was soon booked, all the parking spots taken, and the international spotlight cast hotly onto Moscow Chief of Police James Fry, who began holding daily news conferences to appease the public hunger for information. At the first of them, Chief Fry explained that the crime scene was the worst he'd ever seen. Investigators had found no murder weapon, and they currently had no leads, none they were speaking of anyway. Eventually, Fry added emotionally, "We do not have a suspect at this time, and that individual is still out there." He was teary-eyed, and neither the cameras nor the world could look away. This is part one, and we're going to go to part two. So I just want to know, like, oh, okay. Maybe we'll go a little further. So we'll see. On November 12th, 2022, Kayla Gonzalez and Madison Mogan, college roommates and best friends since middle school, headed out for a night of fun at the Corner Club bar in downtown Moscow, Idaho. It was an overcast Saturday night following an afternoon when the national headlines had been dominated by two large planes that had collided in midair and then burst into flames, cartwheeling to the ground and shutting down a Dallas freeway. Not that most college kids in this town paid much attention to the daily news elsewhere in the country. Moscow was a hideaway from many of the world's stresses, which made it a special place. The mountains were wrapped around the community, and it felt cozy inside that blanket of simple living. The temperature outside of Moscow that night was 32 degrees, the exact freezing point, but Idaho kids became accustomed to harsh weather. Kaylee wore only a light sweatshirt and jeans with trendy holes across the knees, white sneakers on her feet. Maddie wore jeans frayed at the bottoms like Kaylee's and a pink form-fitting midriff t-shirt. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to hit that button. T-shirt beneath a black jacket big enough to belong to somebody's father, the arms overly floppy, the hem hanging to her thighs. Inside the concrete bunker-style establishment, sports memorabilia and neon beer signs hung on the walls, and several large televisions above the bar top cast their light across Kaylee and Maddie while they drank from long-neck bottles of beer. On weekends, the bar was elbow to elbow with 20-something college boys, many of them fraternity brothers who wore their ball caps backward and leaned in closely to their peers and to the sorority girls like Kaylee and Maddie. The Corner Club was a hub for Greek social life off campus, and Kaylee and Maddie were regulars there, mingling among the cinder block building's raised drinking tables, their feet shuffling through spilled beer on the floor, their friends arriving all evening long through the metal door with steel mesh insided silver of a window. Sliver, sorry, of a window. I mixed that up. The night of the 12th was no different. A basketball game on ESPN, but nobody really watching. The bar surveillance camera showing Kaylee and Maddie appearing to get slowly and happily buzzed. Thanksgiving break was only a week away, and there was excitement in the air for a much-needed respite from academics. In fact, Kaylee was finishing with school entirely. She was graduating at the end of the semester, and she'd already accepted a job in marketing that was scheduled to start in February, way down in Austin. Kaylee's plan was to get her degree, head to Europe for a month, and then come back to real life. It would be the first time she and Maddie had lived in different towns since they were children. Towards the end of the night, the girl stopped to chat with Kaylee's on-again, off-again boyfriend, Jack Decor, whom she recently broke up with, by all accounts, amicably. Jack was tall with thick auburn hair and stubble along his jaw, and he still looked at Kaylee as if they'd one day get married. Kaylee and Jack also continued to share their dog Murphy, a golden doodle turning a year old in December, and though its human mom and dad were recently separated, the former couple still had a connection. Family and friends knew it, Jack and Kaylee knew it, and spoke about it to their peers, and it was obvious in the corner club Jack and Kaylee's body language was as friendly as ever. For a while that night, Maddie separated from Kaylee and had a long conversation with one of the club's bartenders, Adam Lauda, a chiseled, handsome young man. Lauda was also in a fraternity and was a close friend of Jack DeCour's. Maddie and Lauda might have made a good-looking couple, but Maddie already had a boyfriend and was known to be deeply committed to him and very much in love. By the time Kaylee and Maddie left the bar, it was well after 1 a.m. They each appeared slightly drunk on surveillance cameras and were accompanied by an acquaintance named Jack Showalter, who was reportedly tagging along to make sure the two girls got home safely. Together, the trio walked 2 blocks down Main Street, their breath visible in the cold air and the sidewalk lit by storefronts and passing traffic. A camera overhead caught Showalter in black jeans, a black jacket over a light-colored hooded sweatshirt, and a black baseball cap turned backward. Kaylee and Maddie chatted while Showalter appeared reserved. The girls acted oblivious to his presence, the way girls are who are best friends will sometimes do to the boys outside their bond. Maddie playfully swung one of the oversized arms of her jacket, and Kaylee sounds equally playful but also slightly annoyed, asked her, "Maddie, what did you say to Adam?" Maddie responded, "Like I told Adam everything." But they didn't get into what everything was, not in front of Showalter right then. Just after 1:30 a.m., the three of them stopped at the Grub Truck, a popular outdoor canteen for late-night snacking on mac and cheese varieties. The 5 cheese mac, death by garlic mac, mac of fire, or for late-night sweet tooths, the berry Nutella cheesecake burrito. A cheesecake burrito? I'm good on that. Parked alongside Main Street, the Grub Truck often drew a sizable after-hours crowd on the weekends, the night of the 12th and into the morning of the 13th, which is it now was. The eatery was swarmed by college students returning from the bars. Like Kaylee and Maddie, most appeared slightly drunk while they stood around on the sidewalk chatting as they waited for their food. Sorry, guys. Kaylee asked for the carbonara, her exuberance seemingly alcohol-induced. She told Maddie that they could split the food. Like friends on a playground splitting sandwiches, Gonzalez with more money, family, the confidence of knowing where your next meal might come from, and Mogan with maybe less. Maddie's family life had long been repaired, but she'd been a product of divorce, and her father had brushes with the law early in her life. Kaylee and Maddie awaited approximately 10 minutes to receive their food. Maddie was shivering, finally feeling cold, it seemed, but with her long-armed jacket still dangling open around her cropped shirt, Showalter, already dressed more warmly than the two girls, turned his ball cap forward and pulled his hood up over his head. In the meantime, Kaylee quietly ordered a rideshare, and the two girls continued to mostly ignore Showalter, who by now was talking to a male peer beside him. Suddenly, Maddie turned in the direction of Showalter and his acquaintance, pointing at them mischievously. "Fuck you," she said, but it was almost as if to nobody the kind of random outburst alcohol can bring about. She didn't appear truly angry. In fact, there was still a smile on her face. Showalter continued his conversation with his peer while Kaylee and Maddie began to whisper together. Kaylee nodded her head sideways in a gesture that usually means, "Let's get out of here soon," and that's what they did. When their food came, Showalter happened to be distracted by his conversation. Kaylee and Maddie jumped into their rideshare, leaving Showalter behind without so much as a goodbye. It was the last time anybody at the Grub Truck would see the two girls alive. Okay, so this is chapter 2. Ethan Chapin was tall, dimpled, and athletic, raised by an intact family just north of Seattle. His height had been intimidating, but friends described him as a gentle giant, always with a smile on his face, always with a positive attitude, and big-hearted. Ethan was also the firstborn of triplets, with a younger brother who eventually surpassed him in height and a sister whose eyes sparkled with life. Their childhood in beautiful northern Washington had been picture book, the parents with good jobs and a vacation home, the children photographing like Eddie Bauer models in the clean mountain air, smiles as wide and honest as money can buy. The family was outdoorsy and active in their community, and all three siblings had enrolled at the University of Idaho, just a few hundred miles from where they'd grown up. Ethan was studying in the recreational sport and tourism management program, which fit well with his active lifestyle and happy-go-lucky nature. When he met Xana Kernodle his freshman year, she appeared to share his outlook on life. She made friends as easily as he did. She even made a habit of befriending the moms of her friends and had their numbers in her phone, and there was a welcoming pep in her. Ethan and Xana became chummy, then began dating soon after. A marketing major, Xana seemed to know everyone on Greek Row, the area where most of the students in fraternity and sororities resided, and like Ethan, she was athletic, her frame and spirit honed by early years as a gymnast. She had been raised in Woodsy, Post Falls, a working-class suburb of Coeur d'Alene, 120 miles south of the Canadian border. It was a beautiful place to grow up, but Xana's mother struggled with drug addiction and was periodically incarcerated. Due to one of those drug-related criminal charges, Xana's mom wore a court-mandated ankle monitor until the day Xana was born. She was arrested on additional drug charges when Xana was 5 months old, and there were many more arrests in her future. Xana learning on her own to embrace the good days when they came. In and out of the system, her mother was an infrequent presence during Xana's formative years, and Xana eventually lived full-time with her father, who worked in the building trades. She was close to him, but when she arrived in Moscow for her freshman year of U of I and met Ethan, with his easy and joyful manner, it must have felt like finally coming home. On the night of November 12th, Ethan took his sister Maisie to her Kappa Alpha Theta sorority formal and early evening event. Her brother Hunter joined them as Maisie's roommate's date. The triplets were together, dressed in evening wear, both of the boys with their shirts unbuttoned to the collarbone, their blazers fitted to their broad shoulders. Maisie and her roommate wore silky strap dresses that clung to their torsos, bared their shoulders, and reflected the overhead lighting when they posed for photographs, smiling and laughing. Ethan's hair had grown floppy and thick, but was styled cleanly across his brow, and he wore a light mustache, a popular choice on campus. He looked good as his sister's co-pilot. Everyone knew he'd do anything for his siblings, and his day-to-day behavior showed that. Family and Xana were everything to Ethan. According to friends, he met up with his girlfriend right after Maisie's formal, and by approximately 9 p.m., he and Xana were at Sigma Chi House, where Ethan lived with his fraternity brothers, only a quarter mile downhill from the King Road residence. At Sigma Chi, a small party had begun to grow into a larger one, and Ethan and Xana indulged along with their peers. Hanging in a prominent position on the wall were the official Sigma Chi standards. A respectable fraternity brother was a good character, good morals, and congenial disposition, and a deep sense of personal responsibility. Ethan embodied those qualities, and Sigma Chi was where he belonged, partying with his chosen brothers, his girlfriend beside him, and a beer in his hand. He and Xana were not yet of legal drinking age, but behind the walls of Sigma Chi, nobody of authority knew the difference. Later in the night, Ethan and Xana made their way uphill to 1122 King Road, passing the large grassy bandfield that gathered moisture in the frigid temperatures and usually soaked through the toes of anything other than solid leather shoes. The sky was so overcast that night that it hid the moon, but the street lights along King Road were bright enough to see by as they approached the house Xana shared with her roommates. Guess you couldn't even see the moon that night. How about that? Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. If you guys don't mind just taking a second, hitting the like button, it does help. And I appreciate it. Now I don't know where we were. Okay, we were actually at the end of this. Perched on the sloping plot that offered privacy amid the gaggle of multi housing units surrounding it, The structure at 1122 was built irregularly shaped like 3 tiers of a Jenga stack. The front door, although locked by a number-coded safety pad, was warm and welcoming to the many visitors. The girls often had a cheery autumn wreath, promised hospitality to friends coming up the long driveway with its oversized parking pad that comfortably fit the half-dozen cars regularly parked there, as well as the extras that arrived when the girls threw parties. Along the back, abutting the hillside to the east of the house, where the sun would rise, was a walk-up second-story deck with a sliding glass door that entered into a common area. This was the most frequently traveled pathway into the house on party nights or during those early school days when the weather was still warm enough to barbecue or drink beer on the concrete deck. The slider door was frequently unlocked since the front door keypad was a nuisance. The keypad wasn't that safe anyway. Plenty of the housemates' friends knew the code only 3 months into the school year. Ethan and Xana, not old enough for the off-campus bars, were sometimes home earlier than Xana's housemates, and from Xana's bedroom, they could often hear people coming and going, though through both the slider and front door. But the house was quiet that night as Xana brought Ethan home. None of the neighbors were throwing parties, and the narrow road out front was mostly deserted of pedestrians beneath the glowing streetlights. Ethan and Xana walked up to the house, making that journey together for the final time. This is weird because I wanted to, let me see, go to part 2, trying to see if the book is the same as this. Oh, there it is. So that doesn't make sense though. It's probably because I have it up. You know what I mean? Up more. Okay. So chapter 3. Let me see what chapter. I already know. Okay. Bethany Funk's first floor bedroom at 1122 King Road had a window that faced the property's communal parking lot. Anyone occupying that room over the years would have learned to sleep through the noise of vehicles pulling up, headlights sweeping across the glass. Sometimes it was silent outside the house, the lengthening nights of early autumn quieter the more the leaves changed colors. But on weekends, there was traffic out front and friends coming in and out of the home. The neighboring multi-unit units, all the visitors all had visitors too, especially the big apartment complex looking down on the house. People in cars came and went all night long sometimes. Bethany's body and mind acclimated the sounds eventually, no different than a low drowning wind through the trees. Bethany's immaculate childhood home in Reno had been considerably more peaceful, with its beautifully landscaped grounds, including a massive mediation pond, geothermally fed water piping into the lawn, and a private basketball and sporting court that was fully fenced and tucked away from the street. Go Bethany's parents. Bethany's father was a successful dentist and her mother a school aide, and the family could afford life's finer things. It was a charmed upbringing by all appearances, but life in Moscow also had its charms. Bethany was a sorority sister in Pi Beta Phi, like her housemates Xana and Maddie, and with that came a fast-paced social life for a 19-year-old, whose previous school year had been her first living away from home. She was blonde like all the girls in the house except Xana, and her fit silhouette and photogenic features drew frequent compliments on her social media accounts. The youngest of the housemates, she not only fit in but also fit the part in the college sweatshirt she often wore. Bethany looked like an Idaho girl, comfy in the new climate she left home for. The Funk family had deep roots in Nevada, but here in Idaho, Bethany was free to explore a life built on her own terms, forming new roots in the Greek system and new friendships in the popular circle surrounding her roommates. After spending the evening of November 12th off campus, Bethany had reportedly returned home at approximately 1 a.m. The small cluster of hardwood trees reflected in the sliding door behind the house had not yet dropped their leaves. They were dark and shadowy and hard to see through up the slope. Even on clear nights when the moon shone brightly overhead, the 50-foot grove of trees and underbrush rising between the King Road house and an upper level accessory parking bluff made for limited visibility past the rim of the girls' backyard. The parking bluff itself, technically apportioned to the 49-unit brick-built Queen Apartments, could sometimes be used for overflow visitors to 1122, although that happened infrequently. In cold weather, it was common for vehicles to be left idling on the bluff while warming up, and in all seasons, it was regularly used for food delivery drivers and personal visitors to the three-story Queen complex. Okay. By winter, after the leaves had dropped, tenants on King Road could see right through to the upper concrete pad, but for the remaining months of the year, the nighttime became an oil black veil between the two properties. Anything really could happen up there in the dark around the apartment complex or in the small grove of trees, even violence or the threat of it lurking, and nobody downhill would know. Not that many people in Moscow ever thought of such things. Unlike in Reno, violent crimes in the northern areas of Idaho were so infrequent as to appear non existent. Even an unlocked fishbowl of a house in Moscow, its windows often with curtains undrawn, felt like one of the safest places on earth to come home to. Bethany had retired to her first floor bedroom shortly after returning to King Road on the 13th. Ethan and Xana were on the second floor. Bethany shut the door to her room and soon climbed into bed. Investigative reports indicate that she slept through Kaylee and Maddie's coming home from the grub truck. And we know differently now, but this is from 2023. And even with the window of her room facing the street, she slept through the headlights that would usually ascend past the house just after bar closing time around 2:15 a.m. when residents of the Queen apartment complex returned home. Crucially, Bethany slept through another set of headlights low against the ground from a sedan that slowly entered the neighborhood, then climbed the hill past 1122 King Road. The face of its driver was concealed in the darkness of the sedan's interior, but the body of the vehicle, a white Hyundai Elantra, was caught on the neighborhood security cameras. The driver of the vehicle made one pass at the residence at approximately 3:30 a.m., heading towards the Queen Apartments, where the vehicle circled and returned, creeping downhill past 1122 King Road, now its low beams infracting off the pavement. Between 3:30 and 4, the vehicle made 3 passes by the King Road residence, and Bethany reportedly slept through them all. And through Xana's 4 a.m. DoorDash delivery from Jack in the Box, the only restaurant open that late. The DoorDash driver had arrived from 10 miles away in Pullman, Washington, just across the Idaho state line. A long drive to make for a fast food delivery, but Pullman and Moscow often felt like the same town, both with universities, both with students who frequently indulged their late night munchies. Bethany had awakened when Kaylee and Maddie talked upstairs 90 minutes earlier, desperately calling Jack DeCour on their cell phones. Even if they'd recently broken up, Jack was Kaylee's love. She had been drinking, and nights could be long without Jack to hold on to. Kaylee had made 7 calls to Jack over an 18-minute period, but he answered none of them. Then Maddie had tried calling Jack 2-3 times without reaching him. All of their calls went to Jack's voicemail. Bethany slept, and when the noises changed, they did not penetrate her slumber. The slash of a knife, the sound of a whimper, a body hitting the floor. From a distance, it all might have been no louder than a door being slammed, a sound Bethany must have heard 100 times by now, the echo of it just a stammer in her dreams. Okay, hold on one second. Okay. I just need 1 second. Thank you guys for being here. We're on chapter 4. Okay, maybe I'll put my glasses back on for a minute. Okay, so chapter 4 is Dylan Mortensen. And this is how I think that James Patterson books is going to go. His book's going to go for some reason. Like, because Ethan's parents did help. And I think I heard that Maddie's mom helped. And I think they're going to do chapters like on each victim. And that's probably what the parents helped with, is what I'm assuming. But this is chapter 4. It says Dylan Mortensen, so it's going to be based off of her. Dylan Mortensen, a tall blonde sophomore and originally a Boise girl, lived on the second floor at 1122 King Road, on the opposite side of the house from where Xana and sometimes Ethan slept. A large common area separated their two sides of the residence, but it wasn't much of a buffer for sound. Dylan's bedroom shared a wall with the living room and was close to the well-partied-in kitchen with its sliding glass door leading out to the deck. Dylan had gone to Boise High School downstate, a city school with white columns, award-winning teachers, and a festering drug problem, like many high schools, opioids mostly, and Adderall and weed. She had been raised primarily by her mother and stepfather, but her father, Brent, remained a large presence in her life, not just psychologically, but physically. Physically, too. He was 240 pounds of muscle, a fact that he'd recently alluded to in a text. Just a friendly reminder of who is going to show up at the boys' door who messes with one of my daughters, he told Dylan. The text was accompanied by a photo of him built like a brick oven, his forearms as big as sledgehammers, and a look in his eyes like a man who already seen combat in his personal life and would welcome it again to save his family. In another message, he told her, "If you ever need anything, you let me know. A ride home, clothes, me to be at an event, get you out of trouble, food, or just a hug. I will drop whatever I'm doing to help you." He also recently sent Dylan a picture of herself as a child, her hair in pink bows, his own face, much younger beside her, his baseball cap turned backward while he leaned into the camera. "We used to travel a lot," he'd said. "We're going to start doing that again. I love you girls more than anyone or anything. Daddy's back, baby." Dylan posted screenshots of Brent's messages to her on social media. She could have stayed for college in Boise near her father. Boise State was the university where most Boise high school students ended up. The tuition was affordable. The grade point average for admissions doable. And for many students, going to college in the comfort of their own backyards was preferable. But not for Dylan. The U of I was where downstate students went to get away, but also to find themselves. And in Moscow, she seemingly slid easily into a version of herself that her father might admire, leaving home instead of staying put, finding comfort in the family surrounding her on campus and also inside 1122 King Road, where her corner bedroom on the second floor was tastefully decorated. On the 13th, Dylan had told investigators afterwards she had been sleeping but was awoken just before 2 a.m. by her housemates and Ethan, who'd returned to the residence but had not gone straight to bed. Based on investigative reports, she had apparently dozed, fell back into a deep sleep, and was again awoken by a commotion in the house, this time shortly after 4 a.m. Dylan could hear what sounded like Kaylee playing with her dog, the golden doodle she shared with Jack Decor, upstairs on the third floor just above her. She could hear Murphy barking and could hear movement across the floor. The sounds were too loud to try to sleep through. From her bedroom, Dylan yelled out to her housemates, asking them to calm down. She was trying to sleep, she shouted up to them, but they didn't answer. She thought she heard Kaylee say, "There's someone here," or maybe it was Xana saying the words. Dylan wasn't sure. Sometimes voices were heard through the vents, the walls, and the flooring. Their direction of origin could be obscure. I can't even say it. In the old house, sorry. Dylan got up from her bed. She opened her bedroom door and looked towards a nearby stairwell that led to the third floor, where she saw nothing. In the dark, there were only shadows. Around the hall from her to her left was the shared kitchen, and down a hallway to the right was Xana's bedroom, where Ethan had been staying over a lot. Nothing looked out of the ordinary in that direction either. She closed her bedroom door and started to return to bed. But then she heard more commotion. Somebody in Xana's bedroom was crying, but she wasn't sure who. All she knew was that she heard what sounded like tears. She again opened her bedroom door and peeked out. While she saw nothing remarkable, she heard a male voice say what she thought was, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." It sounded like it came from Xana's room. Maybe Xana had been crying and Ethan was going to help with whatever was wrong, Dylan thought. She was exhausted from all the noise keeping her awake. But soon she heard more crying, and for a third time she opened her bedroom door. This time she saw a man dressed in all black clothing with a black mask covering his mouth and nose. He was walking towards Dylan in the dark, an athletic-looking person, but not muscular, 5'10" or taller, with bushy eyebrows. He had been partying with her roommates, or had he been partying with her roommates? Was he one of the many new friends they'd made during the first months of school? She didn't know. Dylan stood in her bedroom door watching him pass. He was not rushed, but not casual either, just a man leaving one place for somewhere else. The man brushed lightly past Dylan's doorway without acknowledging her. He exited through the sliding glass door that led to the second floor patio where warm weather parties would occur and where the wooded slope behind their house led to the often trafficked parking platform on the higher ground. A man in a mask who left the house but not run from it. For the past 2 years, just about everybody had been wearing a mask to prevent infection from COVID. In her classrooms, at the store, some people had even gone on dates wearing paper masks that muffled their voices and intentions. Things upstairs were quiet now, Murphy no longer barking, and from down the hall, Dylan no longer heard anyone crying. By 4:20 a.m., Dylan had locked herself in the bedroom for the remainder of the night. She did not come out until just before noon when the sun was already high and the bodies of her housemates lay scattered on the second and third floors, enough blood around them to paint the walls. Welcome in, everybody. We're on chapter 5. Just before 3 a.m. on the 13th. Let me actually see something. Can I move this over? Okay, I can. Just before 3 a.m. on the 13th, 2 Moscow police officers patrolling Banfield and the nearby Greek Row for alcohol offenses spotted 4 male students in the elongated grassy expanse that stretched from Sigma Chi fraternity house to the small apartment complexes of Taylor Avenue, a winding 2-lane thoroughfare running beneath the King Road neighborhood. At a certain angle from the field, the roofline of the King Road residence was visible above Taylor Avenue. Nearby street lamps provided partial lighting of the Banfield perimeter, but the dark interior of the field was a no man's land at night. The cops got out of their vehicle and attempted to make contact with the young men, all of them wearing athletic shoes and jeans, none of them coats to shield them from frigid temperature as they hurried on foot across the field. The police approached from a distance, calling out. The first young male, carrying 2 unopened beers, complied with a stop request. The police wanted to confirm that he was of legal drinking age. It became clear that he was not traveling with the other 3 who had now taken off across the field and returned only when one of the officers went after them. The first young man, wearing a ball cap and a USA jersey, appeared sober and had broken no laws, so he was let go after his age was verified. As seen in body cam footage, the other 3 young men nervously returned. They lined up as if by instinct when facing authority figures. One crossed his arms from the cold, one jammed his fist into his pants pockets, and a third cocked his hip then removed his ball cap. "You guys take off on me?" the officer asked them. One of the young men responded, "I thought it was just like a fake person, honestly. How many fake people are out here that you've experienced?" the officer asked. The audio unexpectedly went silent for a while, and the 3 young men appeared dreamlike in the body cam footage. The movements of their torsos, like shadows swaying in the dark, their legs lit by the officer's flashlight beams. Minutes into the silence, the audio returned, and the officer was heard asking the young men how much they'd had to drink. 2 beers, one said, but after pressure from the officer, they all admitted to having consumed 6 to 8 beers apiece. "No shots?" the officer asked. "No shots," one of them responded. "What kind of beers?" "Busch Light," two of them said. All of them were visibly intoxicated. The officer instructed all three of them to follow him to his vehicle where they lined up in the street lit by the patrol car headlights. All three were freshmen at the University of Idaho and none were of legal drinking age. The officer began to write them citations. You guys all live in the same frat, he asked. Yeah, one said reluctantly, which is Alpha Kappa Lambda. 6 years earlier, the Washington State University chapter of their fraternity, 15 minutes away across the state border, had been shut down after law enforcement found evidence of widespread hazing and drug distribution. Seems to be a pretty slow weekend, the officer said, making small talk while the citations were completed. I was expecting busy. Yeah, one of the students said. Another said something inaudible, to which the officer responded, fucking cold, yeah. The King Road residence was just up the hill from where they stood, maybe a few hundred yards away as the crow flies. It was nearly 3:30 a.m. by the time all three young men had been released and the officers returned to their vehicle. They could see the students continue their drunken trek across the open field towards wherever young men on college campuses walk after 3 a.m. To the left of their path, the Sigma Chi house was well lit. There had been some trouble there in the past, but none worse than at the other houses on Greek Row. Way off in the distance, the three young men were just like shadows now. The unmarked police vehicle, a hybrid sedan assigned to save on fuel prices, idled almost silently in the dark. Its headlights shone on the emptiness ahead. It was a weekend night like so many others. Just up the hill from where the police officer sat, prosecutors now say a then unknown subject or unsub in a white four-door Hyundai Elantra was beginning to circle 1122 King Road, contemplating his way inside the house. Chapter 6. Security cameras and cell tower data told a story, but they hadn't revealed who was behind the Elantra's steering wheel or how events unspooled inside 1122 King Road. Less than 2 months later, police would identify and arrest the man they believed to have been their unsub. From the facts alleged in the affidavit supporting his arrest, an account of the early morning hours of November 13th emerges. The Elantra idled atop the concrete outside 1122 King Road. It was cold outside, and an engine exhaust would have been discharging its fumes. The street was often heavily trafficked during mid-evening hours, but began to quiet after 2 a.m. bar closing time, and then 30 or 40 minutes of people getting home safely in Ubers and Lyfts or drunkenly hugging the shoulder of the road in their trucks. There were kitchen lights that stayed on while people grabbed late-night snacks, then clicked off when they went to sleep. By 3:30 a.m., the neighborhood was reliably still. As seen on security video, the Elantra had already made 3 passes by the residents earlier that night, entering King Road at a snail's pace in the dark. It had turned around in the cramped corner near King and Queen each time at the Queen Apartments overlooking 1122 before eventually making an awkward 3-point turn in order to exit the area. After the third pass and exit, the driver had reportedly taken Taylor Road away from Greek Row, maybe killing time. Finally, he turned and come back. And I wonder if that's when he was killing time because the DoorDash driver was there. In front of the house, the vehicle's unusually narrow taillights would have glowed like blood-red cat's eyes in the night. The driver wasn't leaving the area again, not just yet. He would have driven slowly up the incline past 1122, turned slightly at the Queen Apartments, and followed the asphalt 100 yards to the parking bluff that overlooked the home through the small cluster of woods. Kayla Gonzalez's bedroom could be seen on the top floor of the residence, and on the floor beneath it was the sliding glass door that led inside. It was a few minutes after 4 a.m. by the time the unsub shut his vehicle off, then stepped into the pavement. In the past few months, the unsub's cell phone had utilized the towers serving 1122 King Road at least a dozen times, always in the late hours of the night like this. His vehicle allegedly climbing slowly past the residence on each of those nights, then turning back around in the parking lot of the Queen Road Apartments, preparing for his crimes by surveilling the area, law enforcement had suggested. He'd coast back downhill in the darkness each time the 3-story King Road house just outside his driver's side window as he passed. The body of his vehicle low to the ground. On the night of the murders, the unsub was dressed in all black with a covering over his face from the bridge of his nose downward. In the dark, he crossed the concrete and then made his way through the brush towards 1122 King Road's unlocked sliding glass door on the second floor patio. And this is his accounting. So, built against the hillside, the second floor of the residence was as easily accessible as the first and even more inviting to outsiders with its open deck and overhead twinkle lights. The unsub opened the glass slider and stepped into the kitchen. He would have crossed in darkness, then taken a small stairway that wrapped to the third floor where two of the girls had been preparing for sleep. In the old house, according to a previous tenant, the treads and landing of the stairwell would have creaked, but just slightly. Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's wood floors. Hey, Mary Beth. By the time the unsub was upstairs, the golden doodle, not much older than a puppy, began to bark. The audio was picked up by the neighboring camera. He barked through the bloodshed and through the sounds of the two girls, these best friends since junior high, struggling, but then eventually falling beside each other in the same bed, with the gashes in their bodies made by a fixed blade hunting knife so long it could half a watermelon in one stroke, and so quickly as to be impossible to successfully defend against. From downstairs, a female voice yelled up to be quiet. She was trying to sleep. She shouted up the winding hallway. Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan leaked blood into the mattress where they might have died almost immediately, and the golden doodle, shut into another bedroom across the hall, eventually quieted. The unsub went back downstairs, creaking towards the second floor landing in the small hallway off the kitchen that led into the communal living room where the King Road girls had filmed TikTok videos, sometimes drinking, often laughing. They were girls like the ones that other people had gone to prom with, popular girls wearing bright colors, smiling for the camera of their friends. The unsub would have met Ethan Chapin, 6 feet 4 inches tall, in the doorway of Xana's bedroom. The sharpened steel hunting blade in the unsub's right hand was an uneven match for the one-time high school basketball player athlete as he was, who was likely slain near the door's threshold and then shoved inside. Wow, this guy is brutal. The veins of his neck brutally severed. Xander Kernodle, tiny at 5'3" and approximately 112 pounds, put up a fight. Her arms took defensive wounds, but to the unsub, killing Xana was no more difficult than cutting through weeds along a foot trail, as easy as stepping forward. The time was approximately 4:20 a.m., and the unsub got back into his Elantra and sped away from the King Road, leaving Moscow entirely. He drove the Elantra south, taking US 95 for a little over half of an hour into the darkness that Moscow's industrial environs dump into. He passed the small community of Blaine in the remote Palouse farm country, so dark at night it looked like outer space stretching to either side of his headlights. There were gravel roads and ponds and creeks out there, but there were lots to the expanse. Though even more remotely country, he traveled slowly with no moon to see by. In time, he swung back north again through Washington State on US 195 through Pullman's Washington State University campus. There was a heavy grade to the road and a wide open steps spanning from the shoulder, and overhead the sky was black as tar. There were homes, but they were sporadically placed amid the rolling farmland that in summer would come alive, but just days ago had become brittle with frost. In the dark, his headlamps jolted over ruts in the road, the way lives are sometimes jostled by bumpy chance and unforeseeably. On the bed beside Matt Mogan, he left the sheath of his knife. Okay. We made it. Because that's where I wanted to go to, was part 2. So, okay, okay. I'm like, so far so good. I mean, I guess he has to go into details, how he's describing things, but I don't know. I think that some of the stuff we know now is a little different, right? We know we don't know, but we have a feeling that maybe Ethan was on the bed, maybe asleep, not so much in the doorway. Now, I think from the beginning, everyone knew that Xana had put up a fight. Hey, Homer, because her dad came out and said it, right? And I mean, who would know better than her dad? I mean, nobody. So I think that's why we knew about her. Hey, Roro. But what else was in there? There was a few things in there. He got Kaylee and Maddie in the bed together. That's what they're still saying. Trying to think of what else was in there that was like. So her bed was on the other side of the window. Like, I have. So you know that website I always use, it messed up again after it finally fixed itself. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. But I think I could show you at least. Maybe. Do they have a picture of Santa? Sure. I'm trying to like find a picture. Oh, here it is. Okay. So let me remove that and then share this with you. So this is her door right here. This is her bedroom window right here. We all think her bed was right here. Like in this little cubby, maybe with like a nightstand or something. On the other side of that wall is where the blood was seeping down. And then where I'm standing that's probably where there was like a chair. She might have even had a desk in there. I don't know what kind of chair it was that they're saying that Brian Koberger sat down in, but they're saying that he sat down somewhere. So I would think it would be like a desk chair of some sort, you know what I mean? Or I was even thinking, those chairs that are like, they fold out and they're like circle. They're kind of like cheap. You can just kind of like lounge in them. I was kind of thinking like one of those chairs maybe, but I don't know for sure. But if you guys missed the beginning of the live, they did have a new order come out in Pennsylvania, June 23rd. They have two other people that they're summoning over to court for Brian Koberger's trial. We don't know who they are, but we're going to look into them. We're going to look to see who they are. And then for Brian Koberger's court documents, Idaho, they just have the order sealing the state's amended witness list. So that's basically all they have over there. Yeah, could have, Ashley. He could have done that. But I think that they would know the difference, like, right? I guess depending on how like wobbly the chair is, or you know what I mean? Like, so Roro, he said, pretend like we're going on with trial, like just like don't think that we're not. He said that he'd write us a little. He said a little motion, like a little hearing thing or a some paperwork he'll put out, but we haven't got it yet. But I think that he's just probably going through and trying to see like who. I don't know, like probably the laws that he needs to know. He's probably going through and he's checking the laws and checking them twice because he's probably going to write out a lot of them, with this, like these are the reasons why. And I mean, basically all he has to say is like, hey, we talked about this before and you didn't ask for help then neither. So why are you asking me for help now all of a sudden? Like, you even did stuff for the mitigation phase. Let's go through the trial first. So I don't know. Just a little crazy. Well, that could have been Xana falling. That's what I always thought it was her falling. Me too. I think she was in her own room. Yeah, there was a bed and still there. Yeah. I that's where I think she was. Mhm. Sure can, baby girl. Yep. You sure can. I mean, I don't know. She I mean, she was a small girl, but I mean, she could make that noise. "Hey, Jenna." I mean, like, a heap on the ground, yeah, I mean, like, go straight to the ground. That could make a big noise. I'm just trying to think of, like we have hardwood floors all through this place, so I'm thinking, like I'm telling you, and them little Ring cameras are I mean, those little, light bulb cameras are where it's at. I'm about to get mine out. It's in the closet. I'm about to get it out and mess with it. I'm about to do some more experiments. I need a white car. Oh, I've got a white car. Look at that. Never mind. I don't even need it for my experiments, but I do need it. I do need to use it, um, to make so I can show you it's not green, you know. "Hey, princess, how you doing?" I don't know if so far now, but I think that, like, we don't really know how she was before, so I think she's credible. I think that they'll, um, definitely, like, take what she has and then they investigate, you know what I mean? I don't think that they'll take her, like, right at her word saying that she saw him there, um, if she didn't say this prior, back in 2022 or, you know, because when um let me get my document here. So back when the second PCA came out, this should be in the first one though too. It says here, this is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. And then in parentheses it says law enforcement identified the delivery driver who reported this information. So obviously it was the DoorDash driver that reported that Xana got an order. So Bethany and Dylan might not have even known that she ordered anything. Like she didn't have to tell them she was ordering food, right? She could have just went into her bedroom with Ethan and been like, "Man, I'm really hungry. I'm going to order some Jack in the Box." Yeah. Oh, thanks, Cal. I appreciate that. It's heatless curlers. I couldn't think of it for a minute. And that's why I wanted to get through this book too, because the new book will be coming out shortly. But this one will do like there's 6 chapters or like 6 parts, and we'll do a part. We should be able to do like a part an evening. Like, let's see. Part 2 started on page 30 for me. So part, oh yeah, these are like I could do that. I could do like page this many pages. Yeah. Okay. There's a gnat. Get this gnat. It kept going and like going by my nose earlier. I can't get them. I can't see them to get them. Damn gnats. They'll always get me. I'm just reading the chat. I think OJ did it. Me too, Tom. Me too, Tom. I think he did too. And I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, PKC. I wonder, and I wonder what she was. I mean, she could have been completely different back in 2022, right? I mean, it could have been. She could have been better. She could have been worse. But I mean, I think if she told the cops, "Hey, I pulled beside someone that night," right? Like then yeah, then that would be credible. But if like all of a sudden it's now like, oh no, I think Brian Koberger was part of something, then I'd be like, then I would be a little more like hesitant, you know? Yeah, Robo. I want to watch that. I want to get that. I got to get Discord up before that. So this book is by J. Reuben Appelman. This book is. This one is by the guy from that lived in Idaho. He's like a uh, journalist, sorry, from Idaho. And if you can hear this, sorry, my bracelet, I keep hitting the desk with it. That's why I never wear them. No more stalling, hand, right, Machichi? Yeah, I think that is the thing there. She ordered Jack in the Box, probably a hamburger and fries. If I had to guess, but I don't know. It was Jack in the Box. I know that part, but I don't know what she ordered. I've never ate Jack in the Box. Didn't like wait, back in the day, this used to be back in the day because my mom used to work at a Jack in the Box, and they used to give you like food poisoning, didn't they? Like wasn't Jack in the Box like known for food poisoning? Let me know anybody that was born in the 50s, if anyone's in here in the from the early 50s. I'm pretty sure my mom used to work for one. We don't have them here either, but Pennsylvania had them. I'm about to look it up. I'm pretty sure it was Jack in the Box. I have to look that up. Pretty sure she told me that. Now I'm wondering. Yeah, if she did CC on that for. I thought about it, Felicia. I watched a few of her videos. Oh, I remember White Castle. You know that you can go to White Castle for Valentine's Day. They'll set up a whole thing for you. You can go there for Valentine's Day from the A&W. I'm about to look it up. Jack in the Box. I bet you it's like an old tale that they used to say. Oh wait, hold on. No, it was Jack in the Box. It was. My mom didn't work there when this happened. So she must have just in my brain, I must have just knew that she worked there when she was like a teen and then just maybe put it with this. But it says in 92, 93, Jack in the Box, there was an E. coli outbreak occurred when the Escherichia E. coli, I don't know, coli bacterium, it contaminated the beef patties. Oh my God, it killed 4 children and infected 732 people across 4 US states. Bet no one's going to be eating at Jack in the Box anymore. I don't like White Castle, but I love those chicken rings. Oh my gosh, I love them chicken rings. I used to back in the day when we would leave the bar, that's what we'd go and get. They would get hamburgers. I would never eat the hamburgers. I was just they never seemed like they never looked good to me to eat. But the chicken rings, they're good. I'll take a burger and 2 tacos, please. Jack in the Box is thriving. I know. I haven't had them in forever. I'm not a big in and out person. Don't tell anybody that. Oh, Vincent's mom watches my shows. Now she's going to know. Uh-oh. His dad used to, I guess, sneak down there and get some food. So me and Vincent, when we go into LA to see his mom, we'll stop. That's our, like we come in and must be It's never nighttime though. We're always here at like 3 in the afternoon. I don't know, but that first night we always go to Jack in the Box. It's either the first night or we'll go our last night. The last time we went our last night, but we usually try to go our first night because we just go for his dad, just for a memory. And I'm just not a big fan of it. Like everybody in Ohio talked about it. Like they talked just about how In and Out was just like the best thing since sliced bread, right? I mean, like literally, like I'm like, okay. And then I tried it and I'm just, it's okay. It's all right. It's not my favorite. But I'm one of those I don't eat good food. I eat like a kid. Five Guys isn't bad. I haven't tried Whataburger, but I've been wanting to try that. We have one close to us. I think that's what it's called. Or maybe it's called Smash Burger. No, I don't remember. Yeah, like In and Out, I don't know. It just wasn't like, I don't know. Vincent pulled into Panda Express the other day and I was like, I don't think I like Panda Express. And then he pulled back out. But I was like, I can't remember. I couldn't remember. I was like, I can't remember if that's because that's the one that's like most American time, like Americanized. So I was like, I should like it, but I don't think I do, which is weird. I haven't ate at a Golden Corral since my mama was alive, since way when, like I was probably a teenager. I would say I might have been a teenager. Oh my gosh, wowza! Has it really been that long? We have a Golden Corral right over here. We should be eating there all the time. Is I wonder if Golden Corral is still cheap like it used to be. You know how it used to be like $8 or something with a drink? I don't know. It was a good price though. Like it was like, wow, you can get all this food as much as you want. Because I remember I didn't eat a lot, and my mom would get so upset with me when we would go there because I would eat like one plate, if that. And she's like, just let me order you food next time we go. I haven't. Do they still have a Ponderosa out there? Ponderosa is where it's at. Wow. I haven't been to a Ponderosa in forever. It's almost $20 a person. Well, they need it. Well, I would be eating all them rolls, okay, with the butter. I'll be eating them all. I'll be eating them all. Yeah, that's what we just looked up, serious. I was like about to say I knew that they did something. $54 for your husband and you. My friend used to work there. She used to make bank. That girl used to make so much money. It was ungodly. Like, how are you doing it? Like, she would work the weekend and she would work like Friday, Saturday, and then like Sunday, like breakfast. And this was way back when I was in my 20s. Okay. So this would equal like double the money now. But she would walk out with like $600 or $700 for a weekend. I would have to work the whole dang week, like not doubles. Like, and she, like, this was back when flip phones were a thing. That's how long ago this was. That's how long ago this was. But yeah, like she would make, like, that would be like her rent, like all of her bills for like in just one weekend. So like then, the other following 3 weekends, like she was like 19 or 18 and she was making all this money. And we're like, I'm like, how are you doing that? I'm over here working at Pizza Hut. Like if I get $2 tips. But they all loved her too. They all like all of her people, they tipped her very well because she was the best. She really was a really good server. So what happened? Chick-fil-A hates the gays. What? Oh, they won't hire they probably wouldn't. You're probably right. I ate their food today. Now I feel bad. I haven't been to Chick-fil-A in forever. Now I feel bad that I ate their food. Wasn't that good, Monchichi? I'll go over there and get them for you. Don't you worry. I'll be screaming, my pleasure, through the drive-through. I could see that, but why not? Y'all are nicer than me. Believe you me, no one wants to hire me. No one wants to hire me for food anyway, I'm saying. My food days are over. My food days are over. I used to work at Red Lobster. That was the last, like, that was the last one I really served at. No, I served at a hotel after my car accident, but I wanted to just see if I could do it. And I could. And then I was like, I'm good. Did you know though, if you own one Chick-fil-A, you have to own 5, which I mean, that's that's a lot of money. We don't like them anymore. Well, I am not eating at Chick-fil-A no more. I mean, I should have put 2 and 2 together when they're closed on Sundays and all. Can we still shop at Hobby Lobby? They're closed Sundays too. I don't know. I think they're cool. I don't know what their values are. Now I'm gonna have to look into them. The people start eating right there in line. I know. There is buffet etiquette, you know? That's so funny. A couple of Shoney's. Wow. Yeah, I haven't seen a Shoney's in forever. Ash said, dude, I love Hobby Lobby. I eat the hell out of Chick-fil-A. They do have some good milkshakes, so I ain't gonna lie about that. Man, they really do. My Burger King, see, it sucks over here. But back in the day, like where I used to live, Burger King was it was so good there all the time. It was always fresh. It was always the best. We have a Texas Roadhouse like right over here too. We have all these like different restaurants, but they're not good like the ones that I grew up with. I don't know what those people are on that are making them hamburgers at the McDonald's down there, but you can eat at the McDonald's, you can eat at the Burger King, you can eat at the Casa, that's the taco place. You can eat anywhere and your food is like hot and good. And I'm like, I don't know what they're on, but keep giving it to them. Because I mean, I try to get a hamburger up here and it's just gross. Everything's gross. But down there, everything's freshly made. I'm like, how do they do it? Why are they doing it? I haven't been doing Arby's in a while, but Arby's is good. Probably since I lived down there. Oh, the Portillos. I think I've heard of those before. Maybe it was Portobello's actually. We were going to get a Qdoba. Vincent was so excited about that. They got him with that for a couple of years. They had the sign up and everything, and then they just took the sign down the other day. Crazy. See, there's only one Burger King you'll go to. Like, there's only one that I'll go to. Your brother's. He said he don't care. I have straight so I can have the forbidden food. I think everybody has somebody in their family at this point that's can like help them out. You know, that can help them in that like school them up a little. See, Qdoba, I've never had it. And Vincent said I would like it. That's funny though, but what I actually said about the the Hobby Lobby and the Chick-fil-A. I haven't been to an Applebee's in forever either. But Applebee's sounds like a fun time. Applebee's does sound like a fun time. I feel like going and getting drunk at an Applebee's. I haven't done that since I was probably 21. I think I've only done that once. I really feel like I need to. I'll see if Vincent wants to go out this weekend. But like, do you want to go have a drink? He'd be like, no. And then I'd be like, yeah, I don't either. All right. Oh yeah, we had Chipotle tonight. But I ate 2 different places today. I ate out twice. Yeah. You didn't hear that wrong. You heard that right. My butt should have been cooking, but I didn't. I went to the pool today and then I came up from the pool and I took the dogs on a walk and I was just so exhausted. Like, and my eyes were burning again. And I was like, I'm just going to order food today. And I never do. I never order lunch usually. I've been doing really good about that. I usually just eat whatever we have here, but we really didn't have anything that I wanted. So I was like, okay, I'm going to order Chick-fil-A because the sandwich I wanted, I couldn't figure out how to order it like without some of the stuff on it. So I was like, forget it. Um, and then tonight I got hungry again, and Vincent, of course, was hungry. So, so that's what I ate. I have not had Texas Roadhouse since we've moved here. That's really crazy. I'm going to Hawaii. I don't know if Tom's talking to me or not. They do make a good margarita. I got my mom a lobster. What are they called? A lobsterita margarita from Red Lobster when she was. I don't know what birthday it was. Like I don't remember what year, but I had like it was a. I surprised her with like a whole setup because she loved seafood. That was like her favorite thing in the world, other than her kids, was seafood. And so I got her this like huge drink, and I had Molly make it, one of my really good friends at the bar. And I was like, this is for my mother. And she was like, oh, okay. You bet your butt. My mom drank half that drink. She couldn't even stand up. We were like, we'll wheel her out. We'll wheel her out. I think we sat there for like 3 or 4 hours, but it was fun. Why can't you drink, Felicia? Are you pregnant? You don't have to tell us. I'm just like, are you pregnant? I just don't drink. I don't like the taste of alcohol anymore. I used to not care. It didn't bother me. Like I would drink Jim Beam, no chill, no ice in there. I mean, don't be doing that to me, straight pour. But and Bud Light, I straight, I mean, like straight hard. That's kind of hardcore for a girl. Um, that was in my 20s, and then in my 30s, in my late 20s, mid 20s to late 20s, I stopped drinking as much, and then in my 30s, I really quit. See, like a daiquiri would be nice. That's what True Crime Lullabies got me a for Christmas. I've been saving it. I've been saving it since Christmas because I don't ever like do like icy stuff in the wintertime, but I do it in the summertime. And I'm going to go get me some mixes, and I'm going to make me some little fruity virgin drinks. I'm excited. Oh yeah, because your meds. Yeah, mine probably wouldn't do good either. The other night though, I forgot I didn't know if I took my meds. I was up all night. I was up all night. So, is she pregnant? Did she say she was? All breastfeeding. You did? Oh, your babies are going to be all in like the same age group. Felicia, that's so sweet. Oh, congratulations. And that's perfect. That's perfect. Like it probably doesn't seem perfect right now, but just think about it in the long run. Like without this gnat flying around my head, all of your babies are going to be like in the same age group. Me and my brother were 9 years apart. This gnat. This gnat will go dormant tonight. When I get off this live, I won't be able to find it until tomorrow when I go live, and it'll come out. I had a gnat do this to me last year. Well, what it was is Cal, like I have my meds in like I have like the 3 pack, so it's like morning, noon, night, or whatever, and they're Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like I can pull them out, like and have all of them for the day of Monday, all the day for Tuesday. Like they're really cool. The ones I got, I should link them somewhere because they're really nice. I didn't know, so I went to bed. It was last Monday, I remember, and I went to bed and I was laughing on something on YouTube. I was laughing so hard for like 20 minutes uncontrollably. And I went to I was like, okay, you got to go to bed. So I went to grab my medicine because I was like, did you take it? And I was like, well, I feel a little sleepy, but not really. And I opened it and there wasn't anything in there. And so I was like, oh, did I take it? But what it was I didn't fill them for the week yet. But I didn't know until about 3 or 4 in the morning because I was afraid to take anything, like double it. So I just sat there and waited it out. Pups are good, Roro. Well, got one back here sleeping. She passed out. She gone. And then I got one down here passed out. Somebody was scared of her today. I said, oh, honey. I said, honey, she is plenty more scared of you than you are of her. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, really. I was like, the brown was the one you got to be scared of. Yeah, you won't regret it. You're going to have such a fun house. You're closing on a house next week. Do you have enough room for the baby? Did you make room? Like you're like, we're going to have another one? If not, say, honey, we gotta add on to this house. Oh, the truck title. Maybe you can get another one at the title place. Like I know what that is. You know what I'm talking about, like the BMV. $14 months. I think that's what. Well, no, they were 17 months. I think my friends were. Me and my brother were 9 years, but we got along so well. And whenever he wanted to do like when he wanted to get ornery, like in like later in life, like his first beer, I think I had his first beer with him. Like he was like 21 when he had his first beer or something. Like, I don't know. I think I grew up faster than him. Almost like twins. Yeah. Little ladybugs kids. Plenty of room for the baby. Oh, it's going to be exciting. Your daughter's due any day. Oh, and it's going to be a him. Oh, you guys are 10 years apart. So yeah, you understand it then. My brother's always been the best big brother. I couldn't believe I was pregnant again that fast. Well, ladybug. I could tell you how it happened. With 5 brothers, Roro. Oh my gosh. I bet you always felt like protected. My great niece I'm getting ready to have another. I'm gonna have a great nephew this time. My niece is getting ready to have another baby. So I have a great niece, and she's 6 or 7. And then she might even be 8. She's like 6 or 7. And then I'm going to have a little baby great nephew. So I can't wait. I just think it's amazing because we always put pressure on my sister-in-law to have more babies, and now she can, she's like, I'm done, right? And so now it's more like, okay, now it's Lexi's turn. And then after her, we'll have to see what, my other niece will say. So, but thank you guys all for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I'm going to jump off here and see what V's up to and get these dogs out of here and get them put to bed. I slept on my neck kind of funky last night, so I'm going to see if I can fix that tonight. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I'll be back on tomorrow to read the second part of the book for you, part 2. But thanks for being here. Thanks for talking to me a little bit after the live. If you guys don't mind and you're still here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on a replay, #replay. Let me know what you think of the book down in the comment section below. I'll see you guys all tomorrow night. Have a great night. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how.